Fans, welcome to another edition of Extreme Memories right here on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to say that again, but you already know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers we get, the more great content we can bring to you. Speaking of content, watch-alongs, reaction videos, that's what we're doing here on Extreme Memories. These have been a whole hell of a lot of fun. And we're going to welcome back on Extreme Memories not only to these watch-alongs, of course, his in-depth interview from back in the day when Extreme Memories first kicked off in 2020. You can archive those right here on the Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel. He was also on the joint promotional, well, not joint promotional, but Dark Side of the Ring, Extreme Memories, Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel after show when I had about a zoo of people, 10 guests on that night, right after Dark Side of the Ring XPW episode aired. We had him on a watch along. We got him back on a watch along right now. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, the great Luke Hawx. Rah, get that wrong every time, right there. That one.
Yeah. What's up? I'm giving myself a little leg massage for this thing. Hey, I was wearing this shirt and this hat last time.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? You got like a ton of them, right? They gave you so many of them. You got to keep wearing them, you know. And
Represent.
That's right. That's right. Well, Luke, hey, welcome back, my friend. We had a lot of fun the last time, and you know, you've been on this show quite a bit. You and I, of course, we've known each other for almost 25 years now, and so much has gone down in pro wrestling since then. But back in the day when we were doing XPW, so much was still new in the business, and the wrestling world was on fire. It was raw, it was real, it was gritty, and we were a part of it. And that includes an episode coming up right now. This aired on September the 30th of 2002, episode XPW TV episode 111, getting toward the end. But this involves a match with you, my friend, a big triple threat match. Yourself, Little Guido, and Vicious Vic Grimes.
Man, I've been looking for this match, so I haven't watched this match
Perfect.
probably 15 years, so maybe more
Wow.
than that because I don't have a copy of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this match. This match was very special to me because it was the first time, obviously, going to Philadelphia. It was a big deal to be a part of the crew going to Philadelphia. So if you got to go to Philadelphia, it was a huge deal, especially me being a new guy because like all the vets, weren't going. So like there was chatter and heat, you know what I mean? Because some of the vets weren't going and I was a new guy going. So I knew I had to live up to, the expectations. It's wrestling at the ECW arena. It was wrestling Little Guido, who I thought the world of, and I had a lot of respect for. And obviously Vic was my trainer, so the relationship with me and him is well documented. But it was just it was my chance. This was my chance, and I felt like this was my chance, and I felt like I had to show out this match. So I'm looking for. It's one of my favorite matches I've ever done, and I don't get to see it or watch the showcases if I want it. I'm so glad you guys are bringing this to the table because I need this match. I need this match.
Well, it's our pleasure, man, and I know it's going to be the pleasure of you folks watching at home. We hope you enjoy this one as much as we do bringing it to you. So just a reminder, if you're listening to audio only, go ahead and type in XPW TV episode 111, 30th of September 2020, or excuse me, 2002, and go ahead and hit mute. And when I count down to 5, play that video. A reminder, we are at TW Chatter on both Instagram and X for all you fans out there. Without any further ado, let's check this out. XPW TV episode 111, airing coast to coast on the America One network back in the day in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay, so this is the intro here, of course. And this was we see the VHS, and thankfully these were on VHS because we get to see them still. But yeah, this is mostly footage here from after we moved back east to the ECW arena, like you said. But you made your debut, Luke, before that when we were still in
Yeah,
XPW,
yeah, yeah.
and you as the tag team.
Yeah, 2 shows before this. So I had only did 2 matches in XPW before we went to Philly.
And speaking of that, wow, what a great intro, man!
Oh yeah,
What a
even
great
better with the
look at
music,
that.
right? Oh my God,
So that was you,
Smile,
right?
smile.
Off
That
the
no, that was
tape.
Smiley. That was
That's
Smiley.
oh, okay, okay.
Smiley's the craziest. That's the sickest bump of all time. That
I
chaos
agree. I
power
agree.
bomb.
I agree. When was that Pogo, right? Pogo power bomb.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then chaos hit his head on that concrete. That was a great spot. But look at this, the fire. How many crazy events, crazy nights were there? Just like even us in the
Oh, bro.
back, like even though we know what's going to happen, it was almost like we like, oh shit, how is this going to play out? It was a wild time, man.
Well, you just seen Supreme on fire. He was really on fire in that video,
Yes,
and he got
yes, yes.
burned really bad. And last episode we talked about how tough he was, and that's just a testament to it. Like if you go back, I don't know what show that was because it was before my time, but I know he got burned really bad.
So that was XPW's Rapture. Now, for whatever reason, Rapture something happened with the footage, and they never made a home video of Rapture. But some of the matches made television. Dude, I was sitting up in the loge section because that's when we started doing commentary live, and and you could smell the burnt flesh all throughout the arena. It was unbelievable. So let me just to see what's going on here.
As
Let's
you
get a
can
little
see,
audio.
I'm next to Big Bertha here. I've
Oh,
just been handed this notice by the franchise Shane Douglas. No plane ticket inside. And I gotta be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Friday night. We're only days away from Fallout. Now, of course, who is this shadowy figure we've been hearing about here in XPW? Who from Shane Douglas's past will we see at the XPW arena only days from now? And Danny Doran, is he going to take the XPW TV title from Chaos? A lot of happenings going down here in XPW. Hopefully, we're going to get all those questions answered Saturday night, October the 5th, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the XPW arena. Now, tickets are on sale right
okay,
now.
George.
You can call the XPW.
I didn't. Yeah. So the story was I had to. Shane is ousting me because he wants to bring in Joey Styles, and him and I became good buddies. He got me a tryout, all that stuff. And what what I got to say is I really was bummed that the plan was going to be all the East Coast shows he was going to do, all the West Coast shows I was going to do, but we were going to come together on the pay-per-views, but that never happened. And I was, like, gosh darn, man, I really wish that would have happened because he was great. But yeah, so this was it. We're moving back east, so I have to drive to Philly. But let's see if we talk about the Luke match here, George.
Is loose. We're also going to see that three-way war with Altar Boy Luke, the XPW debut of Little Guido, and of course, Vicious Big Crimes fans. You don't go anywhere while I take the road to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We just got the oil change, man. We'll see if I'm making the drive, buddy, you got to make the drive, the fly, the train, the walk, whatever you got to do. Put the old thumb out like Fonzie if you have to. I can't believe it. No plane ticket
So
inside.
Joey wasn't on the first show with us, was he? I don't remember
No, he came in on the third show after
the
Fallout,
third show.
exit Sandman,
Okay,
and
yeah,
again, I was looking so forward to calling a match with him. And not only did he leave, but the live pay-per-view never happened.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, these were great.
Oh,
These were
these
great.
were, dude. You know what? I gotta give it up. Webb was the guy who did all the XPW TV episodes, right? We in the
Yeah.
studio every week, and this was his idea. He's already talking in English, but you can't understand it, so there's English subtitles. It was great, man.
Yeah.
Hey, check it, George. Let's get a little bit of this, man.
In a juicy house. So tonight, XPW has been doing the best decision ever to bring the juice to the juicy house. What?
Say it.
Shut up. Shut up. You again. You twice. You don't get tired? So suck my all you jabronis and marks. What kind of respect is that? You gotta respect, not the best one, not the great one. You gotta respect the juicy one.
God. I knew
You know
could
what?
say that.
Because it's all about the juice, baby. And the juice is loose. And the juice is on the loose. You know, I see a lot of jabronis, a lot of jokers in the back trying to get a match with the juice. I don't see any good talent in this building.
What are you talking about?
Maybe because they're from Philly.
Whoa.
I don't know. So I even see a Chris Chatty, a Chris Giovanni Chatty. Oh, come on, bro. Let me have a match with the Juice. I know he's the best. I want to learn from him. What the hell is that?
You have got to be kidding me.
Juice.
Who does this guy think he is?
What people don't know is this was popping us more in the back than it
Yeah.
was the crowd, and we were just dying. We were laughing at the shit, and we're like, "This is fucking great."
Dude, and then this was it was so great as it was, and then when he put the freaking caption on as if he's speaking a different language,
Oh yeah,
it's brilliant, dude.
it's awesome. Hey, Webb's the man. Shout
Yeah.
out Johnny Webb. We love you.
I know, man. Come on, man, get out of hiding, man. Get on the show. You're the only one. You're the only one, pretty much.
Mysterious. That's how he is.
Yes.
That's why he's Johnny Webb.
Yeah, he's working it. I know. But yeah, man, look at the crowd. It was just
Yeah.
it was people were on their feet, throughout these shows when we first got back there.
Chris
And
Chatty.
Chatty. There's a lot of debuts because when we came back there, this was like, and like you said before, Luke, a lot of the talent, a lot of controversy didn't come over. But again, a lot of spots had to be filled because Rob was getting all these guys that lived back there.
Right. And the idea was to have ECW guys on the show to like, obviously for obvious reasons, right?
Right.
So, and that's what Rob wanted all along anyway.
Yes.
But and then for the ECW guys like Chris and Danny on this was a chance for them to prove themselves. And not that they had to prove anything, but it's like they got to break out on their own. Now they're the stars, like because they were the young boys in ECW coming up. The openings, and like this is where they're gonna start winning like titles and be main event. Like you're coming in as the star now. So that was an opportunity for them to like really be those guys, you know what I mean? And like we were the under guys trying to get up, and we needed their blessing. So look at
Patrick Hernandez, the great referee Patrick Hernandez, had him on, and he brought up a good point where, people want to say that all these ECW guys came in for a paycheck, maybe some of them, but most of them were like Terry Funk. Even he was excited to be here and wanted to help this company grow, not just for a paycheck.
Oh yeah.
And he also, Patrick, brought up another good point, was that a lot of shows, you'll have your regular roster, but we get a guy from the big league come in, we're just going to put him in the main event, and our guys are going to be on the bottom and undercard. Whereas XPW did a good job. Like, if you came in from ECW, you're going to be infused with the XPW guys. It's all going to be one league. It's not just going to be these XPW guys and the ECW guys on top. But I got to give it Kevin and Rob. They did a good job, I think, infusing all that.
But like I said in the last episode, yeah, definitely. But like I said in the last episode, there wasn't nowhere else to go. If you wasn't on the WWE contract at this time, everything else was shut down. So it was trying to make a living on the indies. These guys were hungry, and they were showing. These were the ECW guys who did, they were there, and like they cut their teeth there. but they weren't there from like maybe day one or something. Like they were like again, they were the younger of the talent, so they
Right.
still had a lot of life left, and they still had a lot to prove. So they wanted to come here and bust ass. You know, they
Yes.
wanted to come here and show out. So and they did. You know, Doran and them
Mhm.
they did great. It was great having them.
Great. And like you said, this was, look, man, you could say, oh, XPW got these stars, but well, wait a minute, man. These stars also had another vehicle available to them in the form of XPW, a
Right.
television product, you know. And really, like, when this happened, we were the only, other than WWE in America, the only other nationally televised product right here at this time.
Yep.
That was it. But yeah, man, what was the difference for you, Luke? For example, I know you only came in for 2 shows before the move, but talk a little bit about the difference, if there is one, wrestling in LA versus back east Philly.
Oh, there was definitely one. What the difference was, you know, they were similar crowds because the LA crowd was a bloodthirsty crowd too. You know,
Right.
I came from the South, so the South crowd you didn't have to do none of this. It was much
Right.
easier. You know, they like to pop off the you know they just like to go there and have a good time and where you know they're gonna cheer the babies, they're gonna boo the heels. But when you went to LA, it was kind of the opposite. You know, they wanted to like cheer the heels and boo the babies, and like you had to find that weird medium to get over because it was a bloodthirsty crowd, and and I thought I did a pretty good job of that. And when I went to Philly, though, it was like you had to start over again.
Mm,
So you know, like I had already won over that LA crowd, so I felt comfortable because after my first appearance, like I just did me. I didn't even, you know, I didn't think about stuff like that. Honestly, I
right.
didn't think. I mean, obviously, there's a little nerves there, and you think about it, you want to get over, you think, but it wasn't like, oh shit, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do. Like you're sweating it out. Like it was just going and doing me. So you hope it works, you know,
Right.
because at that time there was still characters and still gimmicks and I was a character that I didn't even know how to be at that time.
Mm,
So I was still trying to come up with who Altar Boy Luke was because it was just thrown at me and I wasn't religious at all. So how
right.
was I gonna, you know, so I had a, you know, that's why I would bless people and I would touch their head and they would fall down. And luckily the first time I came out and did that, like when I did it, people reacted and they got I didn't have to explain it. It came out as the moment I did it, they reacted to it, and you know they fell, and they you know they went along with it. They got what I was doing.
Dude,
So
you know,
so
yeah. Hmm. Please.
I mean you can go back if you go back and watch those when even the debut, my debut when I come out and I do it and I bless people and
Right.
touch their head, you'll see people in the crowd falling and stuff. So it was just like I had an idea of what you know what I thought would work, and it did.
Hmm.
And I brought it to Philly, and I wrestled hard, and I gave them, you know, I just gave them my heart, bro, and
Yeah.
that won the crowd over. And it transitioned later on though, because you know after XPW going into CZW, it was a different vibe because it was another feud. I was
Hmm.
the XPW guy coming. I was the first XPW guy coming in, and they hated each other. And you know, CCW was in Philly, and they were at the arena and all that bullshit. That was their home turf. So when I went there, you know, I wasn't the locker room was cool, but also funny at the same time. There was a few, you know, there was a few there that was resentful that somebody from XPW was coming in, and
Sure.
then I had to be a different character and still I had to win those fans over because not all those fans like there was still a few between fans. Like some of the
Right.
CZW fans didn't go to XPW shows. They
Yeah.
weren't fucking with XPW. So now all of a sudden I'm in CZW and these ain't the same, you know, they might be 20 or 30 or 40 people in the crowd you seen from XPW, but for the most part, it was a different crowd. So
Right.
you had a now get over in Philadelphia again, you know what I'm saying? Like and
Yeah.
figure that out. So yeah.
So much to it. And yeah, you know, I just got back from doing a show, and not only then, but even today, the Southern Wrestling audience is just so old school, you know, like even today. You know, when
Yeah.
you're in the deep South, like I was in Sylacauga, you know, I never touched on that. Looking back at you doing the cross and like talking about, well, he is from the South, not too far from the Bible Belt. You know, never talked about that, man. We should have, you know, because we said you're
Yeah.
from Louisiana, so
St. Michael's Cathedral. Yeah.
yeah. Um, want to take this lull now that I'm thinking about it, because they let us promote this on their stuff. Thank everybody from IWA, just inducted me to the 2025 Hall of Fame. Got to share the stage with Robert Gibson, Mr. Hughes, Buff Bagwell, Action Mike Jackson, Chick Donovan. So an absolute honor. Check them out on Title Match Network. IWA's Wrestle with an RA, WrestleMania. Check them out on Title Match Network. Thank you.
That's a list of names there, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro. They surprised me with it, and it was really an absolute honor, man. I was like, wow. So it was very cool. But anyway, thank you guys, IWA, for letting us promote Wrestling Chatter as well. Look at this match right here. I don't even think these guys ever wrestled before this one match. I was gonna say the southern audience, Luke, can compare out here to the lucha audience. Let's say the closest audience that still believes. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's held the old school, right? I don't know what believes more. You know, but lucha is just so part of the culture.
Hey, Huey was stiff too, boy.
Oh
Laying
yeah,
that shit in.
really.
Look at that. Oh, I'm stealing that. I ain't seen that in a while.
It's like
Nobody's doing that.
a pump handle into a face buster.
Yeah, well, I just stole it, so I'm coming back.
Hey man, recycle. You know,
That's
you're
it.
doing good for the environment.
For the juice, baby, because the juice is on the loose.
Yeah, man, these guys matched up pretty well together.
Oof.
Here's the Hoovy driver.
Hoovy driver, you got it. Chris Chatty, good night.
There you go, man. So remember now, Hoovy was already in the company for quite some time. He was there when we were in Patriot Hall still in Van
Yeah.
Nuys. So he'd been floating around. He had that feud with Chaos for a while. Again, a good example of Kevin and Rob just infusing all the guys. You know, you're not going to come in and just go against another star. He right away feud with Chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
Build them. Build these guys.
Yeah, and build the league too.
Hey, Rob ain't do much right, but that's one thing he did.
Yeah, well, I said Rob and Kevin. So
That's right.
the president and the vice president. But no, they did a lot of stuff right. Absolutely. I mean, look at this. I mean, how many other people pulled off doing a nationally televised league, worldwide distribution back in the day?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can knock it all you want, but it was there.
It was there.
The footprint and the footprint is still there.
Yep. It should get more recognition than it does.
Yeah, it does. But I think through time, you know, you can't ignore the truth of history, and in time, it will be. Oh, this is
There he is. That's my dog. One of my
Julio Gennaro.
BFFs. That's it.
Are you still talk to him?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, awesome, man. How's he doing?
He's good. Just a family man, you know.
Okay.
Working and loving life, and he's doing well, and his kids are good, and he's just a dad, and he enjoys it. And
Awesome, man. He was always
and
good.
awesome. Yeah, it's my bro. You know, another ECW guy who got a good break in ECW and was hungry, and I had a lot of respect for Julio. So I used to run with Julio when we were on the road. So XPW. So
right. Now, were you the one that kind of got him in to the company?
No. We met at XPW, but I had knew a lot about him, and we had mutual friends. So like I had looked up to him because I had I had read about him. Like he was the up and comer on the East Coast and how good he was, and and then he got an ECW, and so I was like, man, Julio's the bomb. Like I had a lot of respect for Julio, and I wanted to I just dug him. You know what I mean?
Oh, awesome, man. Speaking of this, how was working with Pogo?
I love Pogo.
Yeah.
he's a guy a lot of people were scared of,
Right.
and for good reason because he was a big bad motherfucker. But
Hmm.
we would fight, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like we talked about earlier with my temper and my attitude, like those guys, like, you know, he was always good to me, but there was times where we would have quarrels and I would get angry and I would want to fight all these. So like, and he'll probably tell you about it if you have him on. But I mean, we always square things away. But it was just like
Right.
he was his character. He was a big, mean. He was a teddy bear too.
Right.
But but
Exactly.
but but when it came to wrestling, he didn't fuck around. You know what I mean? He
No.
was gonna he was gonna get you.
Yes.
So so I think here we
Yes.
go. But real quick, I
Yes,
think
please.
Pogo was the most believable motherfucker at that
Yes.
time. There was
Thank
nobody
you.
more believable than Pogo the
That's
Clown.
there you go, man. Absolutely. That's a great way to describe him. I always said people ask me about Pogo and how he was. It's kind of like the Andre the Giant stories. If he didn't like you, best thing to do is stay away from him. But if he liked you, that was it. You guys were tight. He had your back and all that stuff. And he was,
Yeah.
and thankfully that's how it was with me with him. And he was a loyal guy. But if it's one of those things, he liked you, great. If he didn't, it's good luck.
Shout out to Pogo. I'm
Yeah, shout
glad
out to the
he dropped a lot of weight, man. He's looking good. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so it's like he got to control his health a little bit. You know what I mean, which was good. Like he put some work in there. So
Yeah, that's
here
right.
we go, baby. All right, enough about
Let's
Pogo. It's all about me right now. This is the match I've been waiting to see.
let's get a little audio, Georgia. Kick it off.
I try to bless
The
him.
largest ball in history of professional wrestling, and it was not that long later that he was once again busting guys open, back in action, back in the squared circle as Little Guido helped the fight early match. What a clothesline that was! Very Pogo-esque from Vicious Big Crime. Huge heel kick from Ultra Boy Luke onto the Vicious One. And now every one of these men have got to watch their back in this match. Oh, reverse facebuster on the Ultra Boy Luke. Little Guido, beautiful counter that was, and a huge elbow right to the face of Little Guido, and he's down like a ton of bricks. Vicious Big Crime now taking charge. This is what he's got to do. He's got to finish these high flyers up very fast in this match. Clothesline.
Chime in whenever you want, Luke.
Another duck
Well,
underneath.
I'm just watching.
I know.
Yeah, to the drop kick, go out the ring. You fat motherfucker! You supposed to go over the top rope.
The big man on the outside of the ring. And here comes Little
Ah.
Guido. Up and over, leg drop to the back of the neck from Ultra Boy Luke. And this kid
Fast pace, man.
That's that we move it so fast the VCR the tape can't keep up.
Right. Come on, man.
Oh, I missed my dive. My dive's buffering. What's going on? Did y'all see that clearly, or was it buffering? Here we go. Replay. Look at that, baby. Precise.
Yeah, it was. This
Here
is
we go.
over.
Here's the big. Here's the big one though.
Yeah, right. I remember this.
Bam! Watch this. Bam, bro. You gotta have balls to do this. Watch this.
Oh. No mats.
No mats, concrete, baby.
Yes. I love the replays.
Look at that.
Wow, that's some height.
Hey, like Master P says, nah, 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 nah.
So you got to be definitely less than half his size.
Yeah, for sure. Face eraser.
How big was Luke? Was Vic here?
Oh, he was 4 something. He was big right here.
So how are the butterflies, man, going into this match, Luke? Like you said, proving yourself.
Oh man.
Come on.
Like I said, I just wanted to have. Yeah, I know. I just wanted to have a good match, man. I wanted to go out there and tear it up and show them how good I was. I was so hungry.
Right.
I was so hungry, and
I know
now
you
I'm wrestling a star because like Guido was a star. You gotta know. You gotta think. I known Guido since I was about 15.
Wow.
So like I wasn't close with them, but I knew these ECW guys because I had relationships with ECW guys because I was working for ECW back in the day, putting up the ring and
Mhm.
selling videos and doing all that shit. You know what I mean? So I knew all these guys. So I came up and I looked up to those guys a lot. So guys like Guido, it was like I knew he was a technician and a mastermind. And, it's my opportunity. This is my opportunity to show the world.
Right.
So
Again, coming into it at this age, Luke, not only to the crowd and to these wrestlers, but knowing like when you came in and you knew the exposure you were going to get, like this was on television nationwide. Like, how was that?
Oh, he landed right on my face on that, dude.
Oh,
He landed
Guido?
that hurt so bad. Yeah, he landed right on my face on that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Ask the question again.
No. Please rewind that, fans, if you to check that out. Um, but I mean, how was the pressure? Not only wrestling and proving yourself with these guys, but coming into a league that was already on nationwide television.
I didn't think about shit like that. Like
Okay.
what I thought about was I was just hungry and I wanted it and I felt like I belonged. You know what I mean? So it was more that was the pressure. The pressure was, it was not about being on TV or have cameras or any of that. The pressure was just like proving because I was real rough around the edges. I didn't have like a proper training and go to a school where like Vic took me in and we didn't have a lot of time to work. Like him polishing me, like I was getting my education the old school way in the cars with these guys and with the veterans and spending time and learning. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so that's where I got that old school education from. And this was just like I said, this was my opportunity because I knew I had to show the world. I knew it. Like I know you get a shot. Like you fuck up, you done.
Mhm.
So I knew I had to go perform. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
and like the thing was, I didn't have any of the formal training or anything. This is like me, honestly, like a natural, real athlete, and
Right.
just doing what was natural to me and what I
Yes.
felt good. Like wrestling came. It was. It's just what I felt. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely, man.
It's
I
hard to
remember.
it's hard to describe though. I'm sorry.
I,
I know it sounds crazy, but it's hard to describe. Like I felt like I just like this was it was home. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Wrestling was home. I could do it with my eyes closed, really.
Right. Luke, I will testify and validate that for the fans. When you first came in, if there's like you said, the word for Pogo you used was he was believable, believability. I think a great word for you, man, was hunger. You were
Thank
hungry.
you.
You
Thank
were
you.
hungry. And it
Yeah.
showed. And it showed.
I had nothing, bro. I had nothing.
No.
Like I literally, I came from nothing. I came from the bottom of the bottom. Like I tell you, I was in the system.
I
So
know.
like this was, what I mean?
Man.
Like,
It was great. It was a beautiful thing, man. It's awesome.
yeah.
It's freaking awesome, dude.
What a match, huh?
Yeah, what a match, dude. It was just,
Here
it
we
had
go.
everything.
Now, and I tell you this, I was scared to death of this.
Right here?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Vic's so big at this point.
Come on.
Oh man.
Oh, let's see a replay, hopefully. Well, let it play through and see.
Is this the tape or is this
We
the
don't
internet?
possibly, who knows? It could be a combo.
Okay, that knocked me stupid. That hurt so damn bad. The impact from that was
Oh,
was was the worst. One of the worst bumps I've ever taken right there. I
I
mean, it would
mean,
just hurt. Like it was very, very, very painful.
just your chest, your back, all that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Your head, like,
Okay. Was your head not tucked or what?
oh no, not tucked at all. Because the momentum, the way I swung me, it swung me right on the back of my head, and then I
Right.
submit right here.
Okay.
So I'm out. So I was like, fucking right. I did my job. Yeah, I can get the fuck out of here. I,
You know, this was back when triple threats were basically eliminations.
Yeah, this was elimination.
How come? Yeah, when did that change? Because that's what triple threats kind of were at a certain point. It was always elimination.
Maybe we should bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't see those anymore. Well, that was you paying your dues, right? You were like a new guy in the league, and like check that out, and you can put the audio, George. But check that out. Like the very next show, you get eliminated first in this match. The very next show, you win the title.
Yeah.
So so
Great.
so again, people didn't see that coming.
No, not
Right.
at all. Not at all. You just
Right.
thought Supreme was gonna fuck this dude up, you know?
Right.
That was good booking on Kevin's part.
That really was, dude. Yeah. Again, no one saw that coming. You just lost. Not only did you lose this match, you were first gone.
Yeah. And here we go. And then yeah, it was but you know what? There was those weren't the plans, you know, it just happened that way. Like I got over the first show and then they put me in the death matches and I got over in those death matches and then we came to this show, you know, and I got over here and like I performed and I was like, okay, well, we think we got something with this kid.
Mm-hmm.
We think we can do, you know, we can do and he's also, you know, I was a homegrown guy.
Right.
So like I didn't come from anywhere else. I was coming from California and Louisiana Indies and Texas Indies, you know what I mean, doing little indie shows, but I was a homegrown guy.
Yes.
So, you know, and I was with, you know, the crew. I was a part of the NorCal crew because I lived in Oakland.
Right.
So, you know, it was me. Well, I say me first, but it wasn't me first. Obviously, it was the other guys. You know, it was Vinny Massaro, it was Vic Grimes, it was Pogo, it was Steve Rosano.
Right.
Yeah, Yvette used to come down with us.
Ron Head. Right?
Ron Head, yeah, Ron Head. Shout out Ron Head. We love Ron Head. There was somebody else too. Who else
Yeah,
was
there
in
was.
there?
Oh gosh, blanking, dude. I know. There was one other.
Yeah. But it was a good crew, you know what I mean? I learned a lot from those guys. They took me in. You know, I was a Southern boy and I was Vic's boy, and I came in,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I was wrestling Pogo and those other guys on the indies up there. You know, like so we were doing the loops and wrestling every weekend for sure. You know, hopefully multiple times a weekend. Sometimes, you know, if you can get to multiple shows depending on what they had going on. But every weekend we were doing something, and we all were together in some way, shape, or form. So you know
Yeah.
that was the crew, and I was I was the young guy. You know, I was the
Yeah.
young boy.
You were.
So that's when I was paying my dues, and uh, it was a blessing though. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I wanted that. I love the spot. I love the
Oh.
spot.
Oh yeah. Look at that, man.
Yeah,
Again, you don't see this.
right. That's Guido. He's so smart.
Yeah. Talk
Almost.
about Vic. Talk about Vic a little bit as far as like for a big man, how he could move.
Well, I mean, you can see it. Like Vic was
Yeah.
the best. You know, honestly, I feel Vic was the best big man,
Seriously.
but he's never going to get the credit because he didn't have the career. You know what I'm saying? And he also disappeared. But it sucks because he put his body through so much, and you know, he done a lot of memorable things and really big things and innovative things. He was innovative. Look at that. You know,
Look at that.
the reverse power slam.
Yeah.
Vic was a massive innovator. So
Yeah.
that was part of things is like, and not only did he innovate for himself, he always thought of things for other people. So he would
Yeah.
always think of things for me and be like, hey, you should do this. Hey, and that's where like we would just come up with stuff. We would click like that the last episode when Supreme grabs me and he's holding my hands here and I kick him in the head and then I roll through and give him a side rush and leg swoop. I came up with
Yeah.
that. I came up with that with Vic originally. You know,
Wow.
I was like, hey, I was like, hold my arms. I'm gonna see if I could kick you in the head. And then, you know, I was like, oh, and then I'll roll back and I was like, oh, I could hit you with a Russian leg sweep by this. So it was always just trying to like come up with cool stuff. And he was coming up with cool stuff, like in like the face eraser and stuff. Like
Right.
Here's him doing the Styles
There we
Clash.
go. Here we go.
Bam.
Oh, good shit.
That's a Styles Clash in 2002, dog.
That's right, man. Victimizer
Yeah.
number 80. Victimizer number 81.
Yeah.
You know, I think
So
when you talk about not getting the credit, I think you're right, man. Not only he left too soon and all that, but unfortunately, people kind of typecast him now in that one infamous moment with the scaffold, and they don't
yeah.
think beyond that. But there was so
Well,
much beyond that.
well, he got shit on by New Jack. I think it's the scaffold incident with New Jack. When New Jack got hurt, was the one that really pushed
Right.
him out because uh, New Jack was so over and people believed him. You know, and if you
Yeah,
go back and you watch that, like that was all Jack's fault. Jack pulled him down, like Jack.
I know,
Vic,
man.
Vic, we all know the truth, but like you gotta argue against all these motherfuckers because he ain't gonna say he was scared when he got up there. Jack ain't gonna say I was scared. You know, oh, I was scared and I didn't because he was supposed to suplex Vic off. The original that when ECW Jack was supposed to suplex Vic off through the tables, but you see when Jack gets up there, he looks back, he gets scared, he just steps off backwards and grabs Vic's
Yeah,
shirt, which pulled him down on top of him. Like,
exactly.
but you know, whatever. So like, it is what it
Well,
is. It
yeah.
happened,
And
and
Vic did the interview with me, and he apologized, first time publicly to Jack, and this was right before New Jack died. And I gotta shout out to Vic because he doesn't do interviews. He doesn't like doing
wait,
interviews.
wait, wait. He apologized for what?
He apologized. He just said for anything that I may have done and all the beef, whatever. Like on my end, I'll apologize, and basically you now do whatever you want.
Yeah,
And also thank you, Vic, because Vic doesn't like doing interviews. He doesn't do them, and he did that as a favor to me to be on Xtreme Memories. So Vic, you're awesome, and good luck. He's doing the Bikers for Christ now. He's in a great place in his life right now. So
yeah. I just seen him like 2 weeks ago. I was just with him like 2 weeks ago.
oh, awesome, man.
So yeah, he's doing good. And I was
Great.
with him and Clown Rock and
Oh,
Dorco
cool.
Dude.
Yeah, getting the band back together. Let's see a little Lester here, George, with his 40.
Philly, be prepared to be terrified.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So yeah, we're already promoting the next show. So that was footage from Hostile Takeover. That was the first one, Fallout. So the
All
first few
right.
shows, yeah, the first few shows were I mean hot crowds, and it was freezing. It was in the middle of winter. We were out there for a while, and snow blizzards, everything, man.
This is when we went to Dave and Buster. Remember me, you, and Angel?
That's right. That's right. And and I think were you there the night we went to Pat's and Gino's? Well, we did that a few times. I love those trips to Philly, man.
We had a good times, bro.
They
It's
were
good
great,
memories.
man. Especially like coming into town and the buzz, and then we get to
Man,
the hotel.
look at
We
these
get to.
dudes going at it.
Oh yeah. Do you remember getting to the hotels and there were already the fans were waiting there?
Oh yeah, yeah. It used to be crazy.
Yeah.
We lived in still in a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It was different times, man, in wrestling for sure.
Julio,
Julio
super
Danero,
crazy.
super
Ron
crazy.
Head,
Yeah, Ron.
Psychosis. All my boys. All my boys. I love Mitchell.
Ron Head flew himself out for that first show.
Did he? Oh, here we go. I
Yeah,
remember this
Rob.
match.
Yeah, they wouldn't. But I wish he kept going. Ron Head, he was great, man.
Oh, he's the
Yeah,
best.
again.
I love Ron.
Yeah, I love Ron Head, man. So another great example of Sandman comes in right away. He's infused with an XPW guy. And
And he lets and Pogo don't take it easy on him either.
no, he didn't care. You remember? Okay, so you remember the story when ICP came in, right?
Oh, do I? You
Oh
can go
man,
tell.
so that was at the Olympic, and I didn't even think about it at the time, but like Pogo went in and stiffed both of them, stiffed him. The angle was he's supposed to come out. And then like after a week later, I'm like, oh shit, he was legit upset that there were other clowns.
Oh
Like
yeah, he
yeah.
didn't he break Violent J's ribs? He closed on him so hard he
Oh
broke his
yeah,
ribs.
dude. They went
Yeah.
on a podcast and they were or whatever it was at that time, and I know XPW and these guys, they're doing all this stuff and injuring, man. It's dangerous, da 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 da, and that just added to the folklore, man.
Oh yeah, because it was real. It's like, hey, don't fuck with this motherfucker. Like you know what I mean? Like we already
Yeah,
had, like they weren't nothing to fuck with. They was the
right.
bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, and Pogo did not care
No,
who they were in the world, right?
it's so good.
It's so
Dude
good.
closed on the shit out of Violent J.
Hmm.
Hey, and they branded themselves on TV live. This is what they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
really
yeah.
doing this shit.
This was insane when they did that. They're nuts, dude. Yeah, we so this was shortly before Webb took off. Okay, Webb
Okay,
and
let's remember this bump. Remember this
oh
bump.
yeah, head
Face
first.
first.
Yeah, like top of the head first. Now, speaking of what Johnny Webb, I got to give. Oh, there's your boy Smokey.
Yeah.
You talk to him still?
No, I have no idea what happened to that dude.
Oh man, they were funny, dude.
Yeah, they were great people.
Yeah.
I still talk to Damien 666.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I just saw him like a couple months ago.
I talk to Shane all the time. You know, Shane, me and Shane are real close now. We patched
Okay.
everything up, and we've been very close
Oh,
for a good
awesome.
amount of time now. So
Oh,
we
hey.
talk, yeah, very
Okay.
regularly. So I'm thankful for that. You know, he's one of my mentors, and you know, he was my OG idol. So
Right.
you know, to have the falling out with him that I had and all the stuff. Speaking of fallout, right?
I was
Fallout.
gonna say.
Yeah, so that you know, to have all these experiences and to go back and you know, people, some of these fans might not be aware, but at one point, me and Shane completely hated each other. So Shane was my idol, and then after working with him with XPW, you know, we got some bad blood, and I didn't care for Shane too much, so I went sure and made sure I motherfucked him to everybody, and I made sure I motherfucked him to his face, and you know, a lot of shit went down, and everything, you know, it solidified me, you know, like it helped my
Right.
career, and like it started with other people too, because it was back to that taking no shit thing we talk about. And
Yeah.
but I'm a man, like I'm a straight up man, bro. You know,
Right.
I
You
don't
are.
I don't want confrontations with anybody. Like you said, I'm always cool first, you know, so
Right.
I'm never looking to be an asshole or start something.
No.
But I had to stand my ground in a lot of situations, and I'm thankful I did. It caused a lot of heat and conflicts, but at the same time, it made me who I am. It gave me, you know, and it built my character. And now I'm thankful, like I could put those things behind me. And Shane were able to put things like that behind us and talk and come together as men and work together. And you know, and Shane tells me all the time, "Hey, you know, which is cool." Like when we talk about, it, he's like, "You're right." He's like, not that you ever want to hear you're right. You know, it's not about that. But it's just like when your idol's like, "Man, hey, you were right, and I did this," and you know, and
Absolutely.
I apologize for those things. And it's surreal. It's surreal. So I'm still,
Yeah.
you know, I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that I got to spend the time in XPW with him, you know, and do those things and have him and have the you know, just to
Yeah.
be mentioned together all the time, to be mentioned on the same episodes and going together, you know, and then now we talk on the phone for 3 or 4 hours. You know, when Sabu passed away, he called me and 4 hours. We spent 4 hours on the phone because he was, you know, upset about losing Sabu, who, rest in peace, another great XPW alumni. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's it. Put it up for Sabu. So,
I know, man. Yeah.
you know, Sabu came in, you know, I wasn't close with Sabu in the XPW days, but he came in, he was always cool. You know, we were always respectful and cool. And then, like, when I was going through that era where I was like motherfucking people and I was ready to kill everybody, and, you know, Sabu was one of those guys where he came in and he said, "Hey," with Shane, it was with Shane, he said, "Hey," and somebody else too. I ain't going to say who his name is, but
Okay.
Sabu was like, "Hey, you got to chill out." He's like,
Mm.
you got to let these guys go. I'm like,
Mm.
no, fuck them. They're gonna pay. They're gonna pay. And Sabu's like, look, I'm asking you for me to let these guys go. You know, and I was thinking about this earlier, honestly, because it was cool to have guys like Sabu, who I looked up to, come at me and ask me for favors but also respect me when I got to be a man. And I say, hey, look, I appreciate you asking me, but I can't let this slide. You know what I mean? Like, so
Right.
there were certain things where we had men level, and the same thing with, Scott Hall. Like
Mhm.
I was close with Scott, but before me and Scott were ever like super close, Scott respected me enough to like we were cool, but like I had that incident with Just Incredible, and remember there was the ECW
Yeah.
reunion shows in on the East Coast, and I
Right.
posted Justin had posted a picture of Sabu passed out the night before because he had OD'd and wasn't gonna make the event, and like it went viral. So like
Right.
the next day, Justin passed out in the locker room at the show. So I took a picture of him and I posted it. Well, actually, somebody else took the picture, and because I was. And then they showed me, and then I went and took a picture. But I was like, oh, their picture was better, but I used that one. And I was like, I'm posting this shit. I'm like, he did it to Sabu. I'm fucking doing it to him. He's a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then, but then like I was going after him because some other shit. Justin Credible didn't have the best reputation. He did some
Right.
shady shit. But
Mhm.
then like Scott called me. Scott Hall called me, and and he's like, hey, I'm asking you to please bury it with Justin. And I'm like, nah,
Mhm.
fuck him. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck him. And he's like, nah. He's like, look, man, you're my boy, and I don't ask you for nothing. And like it's those guys. They didn't really bow to anybody. So for them to
Right.
come to me and ask them and just be like, yo, chill out, like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I respect that because they could have just wrote me off. You know what I mean? They could
Exactly.
have wrote me off. They could have wrote my name off. They could have did anything, but instead they were like, no, this dude's the real deal. But hey, like, and they would tell the other guys, you better make good with Luke. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. And like and that's how like that's how we came together because and things got settled, especially like with Shane and like somebody had a middleman. You know what I mean? They're like, you better fix your shit with Luke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm just thankful. That's all. I don't talk about this. We don't talk about it on shows, but I love
Yeah.
Shane. I'm grateful for those. Again, I'm grateful for those opportunities and those experiences because that's my story in wrestling. That's my legacy in wrestling. Those are the things that happened with me, and that's to have the controversy that he had, and then I end up having the controversy with him, and it's well,
No,
I
man.
I couldn't ask for more at the time. At the
Right.
time I didn't know. I didn't see it because it was passion.
Right.
It was anger and passion. I didn't see the long term, like, because you didn't know how all was going to turn out. It's just like
Right.
you had a lot of anger to these guys, but now it all turned out, and you have again the memories. You have
Yeah.
all the storyline and the realism to it, and people don't realize that. Like you said, like this that kayfabe aside, like that was real. It was
Yep.
all real. So we
Yeah.
lived off real shit. These angles. There was a lot of realism to some of
Yeah.
this stuff.
Totally. Totally.
But I sorry I went on a rant, but yeah, it's
No,
just
man. No, bro. Thank you for sharing, man. Like,
and
it's
then this is
honest.
look this with Terry, this was real.
Yes.
Remember they got in a fight
Right.
backstage. Shane cut Terry's arm, or Terry cut his arm in the match. I don't remember how Terry's arm got cut, but he got cut real bad. And they got in
Yeah.
the back, and Shane went to check on Terry, and fucking Terry slapped the shit out of him. And then Shane went, Shane didn't know why Terry did that, and because Terry was mad. And then Terry slapped him again, and then Shane went ballistic, started tearing up the locker room. He's like, "You motherfucker slapped me!" And they had to be pulled apart, and it
Right.
was, what I mean,
Oh
it
yeah.
was a
I mean, thank you, Luke, for sharing. But dude, think about like looking at you, looking at me, looking at all of us. How great of an experience was. I mean, we were kids here.
oh yeah, dude, we were kids hanging
We
out
were
with porn
kids.
stars.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we were kids, dude. We were
No, we
like,
were kids. I was
we were.
21, bro. I was 21.
I mean, I was
So
26 or whatever,
hey,
but like, still, that's a kid, man. That's
hey,
a
they
kid.
were going. At 21, most kids are going to a casino. I was flying across country and hanging out with porn stars and
Yeah.
living this rock star life and doing these crazy things. And this is before cell phones were. We had
Right.
cell phones, but we didn't have photos and nothing like that. So I would come home and I would tell people what I did at home, and nobody believed me. You know what I'm saying? But I would have all these cuts and shit on me, but but nobody believed what I was doing, and I would,
Yeah. Well,
like,
then
oh
you had more.
yeah.
then you had to show them the home video and all that stuff.
Exactly. Then you on the cover of videos, and that was cool being on the cover of videos
Yeah.
like Suncoast and Walmart and Best Buy, because that wasn't done at the time. That was rare. So
No.
I could be like, oh, let's go to the store. Yeah, I'm on the cover of this DVD. Check it out.
Well, for a while there, we were the only two companies in those stores was us and WWE, and we were the first because Rob already had the company with the DVDs and all that for the porn. So the
Yeah.
first DVD that came out, it was us and WWE right around the same time, but we were like the second ever wrestling DVD. I think WWE became first. Throw a comment down if you guys know, but it was right around the same time. That was it, so different time, dude.
Yeah.
Different time. And again, like you said, you go home. And also too, speaking of cell phones, yeah, there were cell phones, but not everybody had a cell phone.
No, not everybody says something. Yeah.
No. It wasn't until like a year or two later, like everyone's got a phone now. But yeah, no
Good
pictures.
time.
No pictures.
Good times.
Good times, dude.
All my pictures are from disposable cameras. I still have a bunch of them.
Yeah, I have a few too, man. And that was kind of yeah, we don't, these times aren't captured like it was here. Like it's going to be very difficult for people to like post certain videos, let's say that were from 2010 and after, when like everything is digital, everything is online. It's not captured it's not captured on a VHS or DVD even. So I'm trying to remember who. Oh, okay. So the mystery guy was.
It was Tool, wasn't it?
Well, no, they were bringing Candido back.
Oh.
All right, folks. There it was, man. That was XPW TV episode 111, taking place, airing coast to coast, nationwide on the America One Network on September the 30th of 2002, featuring my good friend right here, Luke Hawx, in a match, Altar Boy Luke, in a match between Little Guido, Vicious Vic Grimes, and a triple threat. A triple threat. The guns are definitely there, putting Altar Boy Luke to shame, my friend. But let me ask, and then talking about a triple threat match, I'm just realizing now, looking at this, yeah, that's right. They did used to regularly be elimination matches, so maybe we'll see that come back in a certain league down in Louisiana. Who knows? But man, we talked a lot about it through the duration of this episode, Luke. But I mean, anything else you want to add about that time? Your hunger in the business. I think that's like you said, a great way to describe how you were when you came in. You were hungry, but you stood your ground. And just again, as a friend, as someone who knew you then, a strong stand your ground type of guy, a man's man, but you were never a dick, a douchebag, an asshole, a bully in any way whatsoever. So, I mean, kudos to you, my friend. And also, look at how much you did in such a short amount of time being there until you won the King of the Death match, which we covered on the last episode.
Yeah, it was, a good highlight for me. It sucked for a while because, once it closed, the only place to go was down, right?
Yeah.
So it was like figuring it out all over again. And then you had to really show that hunger, because I thought I was worth money because I was on television and I was getting flown places and getting paid a little bit. Oh, excuse me, it's past my bedtime. But like, there was no indies. Like, indies weren't wanting to fly me in and pay me anything. So it was like I had to start driving back to Wildstad in Georgia to get bookings. And I got little indie bookings here and there, but for the most part, it was difficult. And they still had a lot of stars that didn't have jobs. So those guys were going to get bookings way before anybody else was going to get bookings, or get paid. So I had to humble myself. And because there was a lot of that, you come here for the exposure. You come to these promotions for the exposure. They had local TV. I was like, well, I don't need exposure. I don't need local TV. I've been on nationwide TV. I've been on these DVDs, and I have this, So it was a different ball game that I'm thankful for. I have my negative memories of things that we talk about, but overall, like, I am grateful for those times. I'm grateful for the people I met. there's only a couple people from that era that I can't fucking stand. But there's for the most part, like a lot of those guys, they're Kevin and Smiley and Vic, they're responsible for giving me a break, and so I'm always grateful for them, and I keep in touch with them, and guys like yourself, and I do my best to talk to I talk to Joey all the time.
Right.
So it's Pogo here or there. We should talk a lot, but it's hard to keep up with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
of
I'm
course.
spread thin, but I'm grateful for those days, especially now. Being the age I am, being in my 40s, and still
Looking
being able
good.
to do this. Yeah, thank you, and to be able to
Yeah.
do it at a high level. Be a high level athlete, and then to all that led to the career. I'm a stuntman.
Yeah.
I'm a stuntman for a career. I'm an actor and stuntman and wrestler, obviously. But I broke into stunts in 2006, and I
Right.
started That's what gave me a film career. That's what
Yeah.
started my film career. That's how I got into acting originally. So I wanted to be an actor, but I didn't have any real acting skills, and there was a lot I needed to learn about the film business. And stunts was more my calling. And the cool thing about getting into stunts was I had like a little bit of a stunt resume already from the crazy shit I did. So they were like, man, look at what this guy did before. Like
Yeah.
this ain't movie props. This dude was jumping in the thumbtacks and real barbed wire and glass, and
Right.
so it gave me like I said, it helped lead me into another career that made me, because film is what made me. I'm Film is my career. I love wrestling. I'm a big part of wrestling. Wrestling's a massive part of my career. But my film career was what put me on the map. So,
Right.
but I wouldn't have had a film career if I didn't have the wrestling career.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it all, yeah, it's hand in hand, right? Hand in hand.
Right.
But again, I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You got you got the DW. I'm actually wearing my Heels wrestling shirt from Heels on Netflix. That's the DWO. One of the titles up there in the back from that. Some Heels pictures. You got some magazine covers. I was on
Yeah.
here's one of my film chairs behind me. So you little inside sneak peek of some things in my office.
Well, talk a little bit about that, because man, we got to talk a little bit about your couple things. um, the Iron Claw. Okay, you worked on that, but also
Yeah.
you
So
played Stone Cold Steve Austin, my friend, in the Young Rock on NBC.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, the
a
Austin
great
thing was awesome.
performance.
Which
Great
you can check it
performance.
out on Peacock. Thank you. Yeah, like anything else, I just wanted to do a good job.
Yeah,
And Austin's one of those characters where he's the most iconic ever, I think. So there's no, you can argue you Rushmore or whatever, but all numbers don't lie. Austin's the biggest draw in the history of wrestling. So um, that was a job that I didn't take lightly, and I did have a little pressure on me for it. For that was the first job I had some pressure on me for, because
gotcha.
I just when I was playing other characters in film, I had the leeway to kind of do what I want, even like really be myself. You know what I mean? Like just put
Right,
myself into a character. Where being Austin, I had to be somebody else and put a
right.
rasp on my voice and all my mannerisms, and everything had to be different than completely different than what Luke Hawx would be. So
Right.
so that was the first time where I had a little bit of pressure, but after the first day of filming, it was cake. Once you knock that first day of filming out, it was cake. It was
Yeah, a different challenge versus studying a character. How can I present this character? Whereas this is now more of a biopic. You're playing somebody who already, this is how they are, and I got to fit that mold. So maybe it takes a little bit of the freedom of acting away, in a sense that you
yeah.
can't go these. You got to kind of stay with who that person was that you're playing.
But I also knew how the internet wrestling fans were. And I knew that even though this was a family comedy and it didn't have like I had already seen like how they were online, like they with that show, like they either loved it because they just got it and it made them feel good because it was nostalgic,
Right.
or they were like, this never happened. You know, Junkyard Dog wasn't in Hawaii, and like, no, he wasn't. But like, it's a TV show. It's a
Right.
it's a kid. You know, it's a comedy. It's not supposed to be a biopic.
Yeah.
It has hints of truths in it, and then but for the most part, it's a story and it's goofy and it's made to
Right.
entertain. But I've seen how like they went after guys in that, so I didn't want them to go after me. I wanted them to be like, well, damn, well, this one guy was like he was what it was supposed to be, and that's what it was. You
Yeah.
know, I got a lot of really positive feedback from it, and I think I did my job,
Yeah, you
and so
did.
I was grateful with that. And then you can check it out, Peacock on seasons 1 through 3 on Peacock. So, you know, I
Awesome.
come in season 2. I'm in season 2,
Okay.
season 3, and
Right
we
on.
shot season 2 in Australia. We shot season 3 in Memphis. Big difference.
Beautiful. Not too far from home. And well, speaking of Memphis, like for example, any fan is gonna therefore pick any biopic apart. If you watch Bohemian Rhapsody, speaking of Memphis, if you watch the Elvis biopic, there's so many things in those movies where okay, the album didn't come out here, it came out here, this song wasn't here. All of them are like that. It doesn't matter, you know. That's not what it's about. But for wrestling fans, yes, they're definitely even more fickle than the mainstream, let's say, music audience or whatever. But no, and then also, you know, Iron Claw, you worked on that, and that was a
Yeah,
great movie.
yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we had a great team, and you know, a lot of Wildcat guys were in that. Brady Pierce, Danny Flamingo, Matt Lancey, Jay Spade. So, you know, I had a hand in on casting and that. I was the assistant coordinator, so I put all the
Right.
wrestling together. So me and Shavo shared tag team that one, and you know, Shavo would be back and forth on Young Rock, and I'd be back and forth on Young Rock, and we would contact team that project. Well, tag team in both projects, uh, but it was cool. You know, it was nice to work with Zach and all those guys. But most of all, my buddy Harrison. You know, Harris Dickinson. He was the man. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I hate to run on you guys, but
No,
it's
we're
10 o'clock here, and yeah, I gotta
we're
get
we were
going.
well, we're just closing it out now anyway. Perfect timing, Luke. I know it's later for you back in NOLA, Louisiana, New Orleans. And but man, my friend, this was great. Thank you. Good seeing you again, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. We'll come back on. We'll do something else soon, and I appreciate you guys, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You know, I appreciate you guys watching me and keeping me alive after all these years, keeping me going.
Get to bed, my friend. That's Luke Hawx. My name is Kris Kloss. Like, share, comment, subscribe. The Wrestling Chatter YouTube channel, Xtreme Memories, on the 15th and 30th of every single month. We'll see you next time right here for another edition of Xtreme Memories.